Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Okay, it is Tuesday, September 2nd, day after Labor Day. We all had a nice time off. The market just closed, and it's been a down day for the market, and we need to take a look at whether the predictions I made last week have continued to bear fruit, or if there is a change in the direction and momentum. I'm on travel right now, so that's why the location looks different. Let's start off with the triple Qs. You can see here on the triple Qs that the overall direction is downward. And you can also see in my annotations from last week, in fact it was a couple weeks before, continue to be proven correct. What it is all of these sharp signals here. You gotta forgive me, I don't have my my mouse on travel, so didn't take everything with me. But you have this shark, this shark, this shark, all dealing with this bearish divergence here. Okay, and with all of that bearish divergence, you can also see that the overhead resistance here remains in play, and that all of the price action has been sideways. Okay. With that, you can also see that the overall direction is to the downside. Today they gapped it down, and they just slightly brought it back up before the end of the day. Overall, no change in direction for triple Qs. It is further to the downside, and it is definitely not the time to go long for triple Qs. Let's switch to the next ticker. GDX is playing out slightly differently. My annotation from last week shows downside. You can see it here, okay, with the sharp indication here, and my arrows. You can also see that my annotation about the overhead resistance didn't play out. And with that, you can see that price was able to push its way up with a bit of volume here. You can see it on this volume candle. But overall, I think the direction still remains to the downside. Let me just review the RSI movement down here. You can see the RSI on the bottom, that it's a lot of bearish divergence. The issue that we need to look at is whether this move up here that pushed through the resistance zone is in fact going to be support, or if it's going to pose as resistance going forward. I still feel that the move is to the downside. There isn't a change in momentum from where we are. It is all of this RSI divergence down here that's built up, and it really points the direction down. So it's a downward move. Okay. So no change in my GDX prediction. I'll just kind of slide this to the right. Overall, it's the same direction to the downside. Okay. Next ticker on deck is strategy, Bitcoin play. Let's zoom in real quick just to remind ourselves of where the lines are. I talked about the 200-day right here being resistance. And in fact, you can see the price made a few attempts and has since been rejected. I also drew this bottom edge of the pizza wedge, right? It's a here you go, here's the flag, it goes like this, okay? So there's the flag with the pizza wedge. Price broke down underneath it. You can see it here on these couple candles here. And overall, my direction remains unchanged. It is down to the downside. You can see the blue lines. So really, no change in MicroStrategy. It's further low prices. Okay, it's not time to go long. Switching to Microsoft here. You can see on the Microsoft play that the underside of the gap fill is resistance, and you can see how prices behave underneath it. My prediction was and remains unchanged to the downside. So you can see the 200-day down here, 200-day moving indicator. I think the price action is going to move it down to the 200-day. So that is the next target. If you're in long for Microsoft, I've informed you for many weeks due to all this bearish divergence and the sharks up there that it's time to get out of the Microsoft trade, put your money on the side. Just wait if you can. Let's switch to the next ticker. Tesla is on deck. You can see overhead resistance up here. We talked about it, and excuse me, my pen isn't working right. There you go. Overhead resistance. Yep. You can see the rejection of price in this zone right there, and the overall direction remains unchanged. It is to the downside. The target, though, as a reminder for everybody, target is the purple trend line support, super long trend line support going down there. Okay. And before I get to Palantir, I'm going to get a sip of water. Excuse me. Okay, so next ticker, Palantir. Palantir has behaved as I suggested. I talked about this fake out zone up here, all the way up here. This was the fake out one that everybody would have been really happy to see all-time highs, and this is the time to get in. This is where they bait us, bait the small guys to come in. And what they did was they then sold it down. See the red candle? Okay, so that's all part of the way the markets move to transfer money from the small fish like us to the sharks and whales. At the moment, what I want to focus on is what is the next move. Okay, let me delete this real quick. Delete this out as well. Well, you can see here, I talked about the resistance at the underside of the gap. Okay, that's my red annotation there. That's resistance, and indeed it played out. Right now, what you see is, you see the close today right here, right? Essentially at the edge of the purple trend line support. What I do see at the same time, as we zoom into the RSI, is we see the beginnings of a bullish move, bullish trend. Okay. So what does that mean? What that means is, from where we are here, I see a bounce. So likely what's going to happen is they're going to bounce Palantir off the purple trend line support and move it up to perhaps where this gap, underside of the gap again. Okay, so like right here. So move it up, probably hit this, only to then fail again. Okay, so this is really just part of the way the market makers, the sharks and whales, are pushing price up and down just to confuse everybody. Ultimately, due to all of this bearish divergence down here, look at this huge line down here. Okay, all of this, excuse me, all of this here, all this bearishness is leading to a bigger move to the downside. So that's my unchanged thesis for Palantir. Okay, 200 days is really a key target for Palantir, if not further. Okay, switching to Northrop Grumman here. All right, Northrop Grumman playing out, as I said, with all this overhead resistance. You can see that I drew this red line going across here at around, what is that, like just over 592. Okay, wherever this is 593. I talked about that as resistance. You can see it, price attempting many times to push its head through it. Okay, when it finally did on this day here, which is the what day is it here? This is Thursday the 21st. The next day was a big sell candle, pushed underneath, and since then it's attempted many times to push through, but it hasn't been able to. Ultimately, it's further low prices for Northrop Grumman. If you're in this long, I suggest that you take your profits, put your money on the side, and wait before re-entering. And if you're thinking about entering, it's not the time. This is the momentum indicator here has informed us that it is the sharks wanting to take profit and get out. So I suggest you do the same, but I'm not a financial advisor, so do as you please. Let's switch to General Motors. General Motors, you can see my annotations over here. And if you watch my videos from the past couple of weeks, I talked about how they'll bounce it around up here, and indeed they did. Okay, so I said, hey, they're going to bounce it around before failing it. It didn't fail yet today. Today I thought would have been the sell signal, but in fact it didn't. They got the down at the start. You can see that they bought it back up with very little volume. Today's volume is, let's look how many shares we're dealing with today. Excuse me as I correct this. Get rid of some of these little dots, annotations. So today's volume is 4.4 million shares. Okay, so on a good day, it could be up to 25 million. So today wasn't very convincing. The bulls have done a good job of saving it, but ultimately it is further low prices for GM. Okay. All right. Let's switch over to one of the long plays. Another short play. Abercrombie and Fitch. A few weeks ago, I talked about resistance here. Okay, and indeed, it's been overhead resistance at the 200 for the low prices. I was in this position short, and I got out of it today. So not quite 10% gain, but just under 10% gain. The reason why I got out, despite all of this divergence here on the downside, okay, despite that, due to today's, the past couple of days, the price action, there is some bullishness that just showed up. So I think what they may attempt to do is bring price back up to the 200-day before failing it again. So from my perspective, I took profit and I'm waiting to get back in when it comes up to about the 200-day. And then I'll reshort it if the condition's right. Okay. So that's my play. Switching to General Mills, this is the long entry. And I annotated down here with the shark. So I'm going to start using, with the whale. I'll start using whales to inform you that that's when the big players are wanting us to buy, when the big players inform one another to go long. So it's a momentum change to the upside. And that's what this whale will be. And if you observe on the other charts, anytime you see a shark, that's the indication to sell. Okay, so right now it's the buy. Now I talked about how a beautiful entry would have been this spot right down here. If you could have got it, I would have been very happy for you. So I made this little green support line to say that would be a beautiful entry. I'm in this trade already long. Not many percentages in. I entered early, thinking that I'm in this middle zone from an entry standpoint. But I knew that this would be support down here. So if you had gotten this entry down there, that would have been perfect for you. Anyway, the upside is pretty good. I'm looking for at least up to the 200-day, which is about, let's see, from where we are now, it's about 15% up, depending on where the 200-day shows up. Okay, it's kind of moving. Anyway, this is one of the few long entries that are available out there in the markets. UPS here, also another long entry. And you can see my indication down here with the green line as being a really beautiful entry point. So if you could have gotten in here today at the open, that would have been awesome. I suspect tomorrow will also be a little bit of retesting this green support line, which is fine. Ultimately, the exit is beautiful. 200 days up here. If you, let's say, took the entry down here, let me move this down a little bit. So if you took the entry around where this is, so it's about a 25% move up. Okay, so from a risk-reward standpoint, that's tremendous. And again, the whale here to let you know that they told one another, based on all this RSI indication down here, it's time to go long. All right, those are the tickers. I believe that's it. Do a quick peek here. Yep. So if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Please inform your friends and family. As always, good luck with your trades.